of Taiwan, I'm Joyce Tseng with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Lawmakers have approved all 3 amendment bills put forward by the opposition after hours of physical fighting inside the legislature. These bills have dominated legislative discussions for nearly 2 weeks, and Taipei officials, including President Legislature, are responding to the result. Conflict in the legislature leading deep into the night. Speaker Han Kuo-yu approves a 3rd revision to Taiwan's laws. A clean sweep for the main opposition party, the Kuomintang, who put forward 3 amendment bills which have dominated recent legislative discussions and reignited physical fights with the ruling party that's included taped-off doors and broken windows. The amendments, now laws, cleared by the opposition-led chamber, including the Taiwan People's Party, will make it more difficult for voters to recall elected officials, requiring ID on top of signatures. It will redistribute taxpayer money by giving a larger share to local governments. And it will raise the threshold for constitutional court rulings, mandating 10 justices hear a case. It's a result the ruling Democratic Progressive Party warned as damaging to Taiwanese democracy.
经过昨天立法院的表决之后，中华民国政府的体制已经改变了。就宪政上而言，5院体制失衡了，中央地方断层了。
The DPP has also taken issue with the way the opposition has passed the bills, a stance that has drawn demonstrations, with people turning out by the thousands across multiple days of protests. Some warning of possible influence from authoritarian China on the Kuomintang. Posting to social media, President Legislature said the rulings were forcibly passed and have deprived the rights of the Taiwanese people. In an earlier post, the KMT said it is the one protecting democracy, pointing to the DPP's behavior as the obstruction of justice. They say DPP lawmakers repeatedly refused to engage in earlier discussions, stalling sessions to block the bills from passing. Now that the bills have passed, they will be sent to President Lai to be signed into law within 10 days. If he does not agree to it, he can file for a constitutional interpretation, a move that could cause more trouble, as the parties are also locked in a fight over the Constitutional Court on nominating new justices, another battle in an ongoing war between Taiwan's political parties in multiple arenas. Joseph Wu and Joyce Tseng for TaiwanPlus. U.S.-Taiwan relations will remain steady under the incoming Trump administration, according to the U.S. envoy to Taiwan.
U.S.-Taiwan policy and U.S.-China policy has been very consistent over the past 45 years. It has, I think, succeeded in maintaining peace and prosperity in the region, and I think it will continue to be the basic direction that U.S. policy will remain. I think our goal is to make sure nothing does happen.
Raymond Green made the comments at an industry and trade conference in Taipei. There have been concerns about a potential shift in U.S.-Taiwan relations after President-elect Donald Trump takes office next month. Green also said cooperation in the semiconductor sector will continue and chip manufacturing remains rooted in Taiwan. A deadly blaze at a supermarket warehouse in Taichung is once again raising questions about fire safety procedures in Taiwan. Authorities say they have uncovered the cause of the fire, which left 9 people dead and several more injured. Jaime Okan reports.
Standing outside a hospital in Taichung, Mr. Guo is grappling with the loss of a family member in a fire that shocked the nation. The massive blaze at an unfinished warehouse facility of a major supermarket chain started on Thursday night, killing at least 9 people and injuring 8 more. Authorities now say the fire was started by welding sparks. Earlier reports said the warehouse contained a lot of polystyrene material that caught fire quickly, creating dense clouds of toxic smoke. Investigators say that once the fire broke out, the flammable materials on site made it difficult for people to escape, and the Labor Ministry is criticizing the lack of safety measures in place.
远离一些燃烧物，再来就是火星要有一些防火毯把它保护起来，因为火花会跳。而且它这个是挑高一旦发生火灾是有烟囱效应，是非常可怕，而且又密闭，那不完全燃烧，人就逃生就非常困难。
But Thursday's fire at the PX Smart facility is just one of many to hit warehouses and factories in Taiwan in recent months, an issue firefighters have been raising repeatedly as they call for more stringent safety regulations. Officials dealing with the most recent fire are also investigating whether the factory had illegally hired migrant workers, as 2 of the people who died were Vietnamese nationals. The city government is now threatening fines for such cases.
那针对这个聘雇非法移工的那个厂商，我们会处以就是非法容留或者是非法聘雇，分别是15到75万的罚款。
PX Smart could be fined more than $9,000 for each safety code violation. But as details emerge from the blaze, the hope for many here is that lessons can be learned to prevent another disaster from happening. Howard Tseng and Jaime Okan for TaiwanPlus.
In Germany, at least 2 people, including a small child, are dead, and dozens of others injured after a car plowed into a crowd at a Christmas market. Local officials are calling it a terror attack. Among the 68 injured, 15 are reported to be in serious condition. The driver of the car was arrested at the scene. He has been identified as a 50-year-old Saudi medical doctor who moved to Germany in 2006. The motive for the attack remains unclear, and the man has no known links to Islamist extremism. The attack in the city of Magdeburg has led to other towns canceling their weekend Christmas markets for security concerns and in solidarity with the victims. The first reports of North Korean fighting units on the front lines of the Russia-Ukraine war have emerged. Citing an intelligence report, South Korean lawmakers said 100 of them have been killed, with over 1,000 injured. Alec McDonald speaks to NK News correspondent Anton Sokolin to learn more.
Ukraine and South Korean officials both say that North Korean troops have suffered hundreds of casualties at the front line of the war in Ukraine. What details do we know so far?
Well, there is multiple sources giving a slightly different estimates. The latest estimate we've seen is from the South Korean side. South Korean lawmakers were briefed by the National Intelligence Service that actually 100 North Korean soldiers were killed in action in the Kursk region of Russia, whereas the number of wounded could rise up to 1,000. And at the same time, we are seeing slightly different mixed estimates from the Ukrainian side, because usually they count dead bodies a bit differently. They include, let's say, casualties. When they count casualties, they include both wounded and killed. And right now, the number stands at 200, both killed and wounded.
What do these casualties mean for future cooperation between North Korea and Russian militaries?
Well, there is several implications are on the horizon right now. The first obvious one is that whatever hype the Russian war bloggers raised around the issue of North Korean troops being actually very effective and prescribing them all kinds of heroic acts like recapturing one of the villages in the Kursk region are probably not true, or at least it cast a serious blow to their reputation. Secondly, we are seeing that the North Korean troops that were particularly stationed in those regions, in those particular areas where they had clashes with Ukrainian forces, are not probably very adapted countering attacks, specifically Ukrainian drone strikes, and it also undermines their reputation as a reliable force, which means that Russians, if they want to continue using these particular units again, they would probably have to pay more attention to training.
This lack of training is something that Ukrainian military officials have also commented on, saying that North Korean soldiers are under-equipped and under-trained. What are some additional details about this lack of training?
South Korean lawmakers that were briefed by the spy agency said that whereas indeed some of these troops are supposed to be coming from elite forces and have somewhat better training, they do lack understanding of modern warfare. They lack their expertise of how to fight drones, how to counter drone attacks, how to spot them. Several videos that we've seen so far featured North Korean soldiers looking a bit dazzled and I would say surprised at when drones start flying over their heads. They ran frantically. They tried to avoid the drones. So all of this means that they haven't been very well prepared.
That was Anton Sokolin, a correspondent at NK News. Chinese President Xi Jinping has wrapped up a 3-day visit to Macau. The trip marks 25 years since China reclaimed the territory after nearly 500 years of Portuguese rule. Now, China is working to integrate Macau and neighboring Hong Kong into the mainland through a new development plan. Sonia Schlesinger reports on how these projects are transforming Macau's identity.
On the southern tip of China, a unique blend of East and West. A former Portuguese colony, now back under Chinese rule. Over centuries, Cantonese and Portuguese culture have mixed here in Macau to create a unique identity and a language that some locals speak to this day.
When I want to, I meet a new person, I say, "Como tá vai? Como você tá bom? Que nova? Como tá bom? Você tá bom? Onde já vai vós? Onde já vai? Onde tem vós hoje? How are you?"
But Beijing is working hard to make its own mark on Macau, which has been considered a special administrative region of China since the Portuguese handover in 1999. To mark its 25th anniversary, Chinese President Xi Jinping is in town, where he will also swear in Macau's new leader under a bannered one country, two systems style of governance. China is also breaking ground on sprawling developments here as part of its Greater Bay Area project, an initiative that links Hong Kong and Macau to neighboring Chinese cities by building projects that span the region and blurring the economic boundaries that separate Hong Kong and Macau from mainland China. Residents here know that their Macau identity may evolve as the Greater Bay Area grows.
大灣區咁，其實我又唔擔心會被大灣區去即係完全淹沒嘅。咁但係當然其實你話有一啲嘢已經係澳門發生，係確實已經改變啦。
And some believe they have a responsibility to preserve the Macanese culture for younger generations.
This culture will be fading because you see Chinese culture is very absorbing culture, and then you have this Great Bay Area thing, okay, where but just suck up everything else. But if the next generation has a glimpse of awareness that we can be unique, we might have a chance to survive this.
But for those same youth, these changes could be an opportunity to define themselves on their own terms.
Since I'm related to the three places, but I'm not that fully attached to any one of it, I do feel like stuck in the middle sometimes, but it just sway around like more or less. I feel like this is why I want to identify myself as Greater Bay Area person instead of like stuck into one place. Maybe that's because of my background of growing up.
For now, one thing is certain. With just over 700,000 people, Macau is dwarfed by the Chinese megacities making up its so-called Greater Bay Area. And as that development continues, there will be no avoiding the mainland's effects on Macau's economy and its culture. Devin Tsai and Sonia Schlesinger for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Joyce. Take care and see you next time.